Hey there, well done for getting into yoga. So I'm going to do a slightly more vigorous warm-up, and actually it can be used as a yoga session in itself. I'm waking up the spine and creating energy, and it comes from, again, one of my favorite books, Yoga Heals Your Back by Rita Treiger, and it's chapter 10. So it can be done as a 10-minute session once you've begun to learn it and get a sense of what's happening. So I would recommend using this warm-up whenever you're feeling low in energy. It'll awaken the spine and it will get the blood and oxygen moving through the arms and the legs. Breathe deeply and evenly. Notice any tight spots or sore spots and acknowledge them so that you can continue to take care and nurture yourself as you move into more challenging poses. Okay, so first of all, we're going to begin with child pose. Child in Sanskrit is Bala, so it's Balasana. And this clears the brain and helps to get it focused. And as you're in it, try to breathe into all the muscles and joints and surrender to the pose. And if thoughts and distractions come in, go back to being aware of the body. This is your chance to really assess your body, to calm your mind and to prepare your mind and your body for whatever it is that you're going to do next. Okay, so coming to your mat and bring yourself onto all fours. Okay, and then let your big toes touch. Keep your knees wide apart. Slide your hips back and let them rest on your heels as much as possible, okay? And then slide your hands forward. We're doing extended child pose. Slide your hands forward as much as possible. And then releasing and relaxing into the pose with your forehead on the mat. Nice long extension through the spine. So separating the shoulder blades, walking the fingers a little bit more forward. When you've got maximum finger stretch, just relax the forearms onto the ground. And you'll feel there's a slight counter tension. Your tailbone lifts up away from your heels as your fingers walk forward. So we try and find sort of middle way here. Relax the face, the jaw. How is the body this morning? Let's assess the body. Calming and soothing. Lovely spinal stretch. Opening out the shoulder blades, letting the shoulders go towards the ground. Breathing nice and deep and evenly. And this pose can be done at any time of the day. So when you get a chance and you just need to kind of pause from the busyness of your day, you can always go into the child pose. You've got a space to do it. And from there, we're going to pull the arms back, that's the head, come up again onto all fours. Okay, and then we go into the cat stretch. Vajrasana. So let's see, getting the hands underneath the shoulders. There's a tendency to keep them too far away from the knees, and just checking that you have kind of right angles, hips to torso, arms to torso. Relaxing for a moment and then breathing in, tailbone goes up. Head looks up into that nice hammock shape, and then breathing out, tuck the chin right through as you push the spine up towards the heavens into that wonderful bridge, tuck the tailbone under, and then breathing in, looking up back into hammock, breathing out. If you're ever unsure of the breathing, it helps to realize that when you're expanding the lungs, as in here, when you're looking up, the lungs are expanding, you're breathing in, and when you're
And compressing the lungs, as in this bridge pose, you're breathing out.
And that's normal for, I'd say, about 95% of yoga poses.
It's the way to work out the breathing. If you were a little bit different from that. All right, and then the next time that you come into the hammock,
Staying there, keep breathing. Keep breathing, keep breathing. So this pose obviously increases spinal flexibility and opens up the lower back, the chest, the throat, and the shoulders. And it helps to improve your circulation and digestion and stimulates the thyroid and parathyroid glands here in the neck. Okay.
and then breathing out, let's go into the bridge. Keep breathing, keep breathing. If you like, you can do Mahabandha, which is 3 locks. It's pulling up the pelvic floor lock, slight abdominal lock, and chin lock. And keep breathing through the nose. Push that spine up to the heavens. Really feel as though you're trying to touch the ceiling with your back bend, or the clouds if you're lucky enough to be doing it outside and having clouds. Okay, and then we're going to do the extended cat stretch. So your left leg goes back and you look up. We're trying to keep the pelvis level, and then that left knee comes through to the forehead, and then back. So you can see me, we're doing quite a curl and then a lift, but we're trying not to let the pelvis tip. So we wanted to place a tray of tea on our pelvis and keep it level. So again, as you breathe in and open the lungs up, and as you breathe out, you're compressing the lungs and coming through knee to forehead.
Okay, and then let's stay with the leg up for a moment. Breathing, breathing, breathing. This really helps tone the abdominal muscles and the buttock muscles as well. The higher you lift, the more you're engaging the lower back and the glutes, the buttock muscles.
Breathing out, coming through. Keep breathing. Again, spine lifting up to the sky. Okay, and then just place that knee back on the ground.
Sit up for a moment because your wrists were probably going, oof, that was enough. That was too much. So we'll do some wrist rotations. Nice wrist rotations. Really getting the wrists to get some more synovial fluid into those joints. And if you do find it too much, it's actually quite nice to put the hands on the edge of a block, and that helps to ease that strain on the wrist while you're doing this. So as you probably gathered, we have to do the other side, we have to do the right side. So again, going into that table position, breathing in, right leg goes up, and we look up, and breathing out.
Right knee comes through.
Breathing in, look up,
and through.
in, up,
and breathe out through. And you might like to
take the awareness into the body and just feel
actually how lovely that is, how much it's stretching and working the body. Okay, and then the next lift, staying there, so right leg up,
pelvis level, look up if you can, open out thyroid and parathyroid and the throat. Higher you lift, the more you're working the back and the glutes. Relax the face, keep breathing nice and steady. It's a little bit strenuous.
Okay, and breathing out, coming through, knee to forehead. If you're finding that just too much, you can put the toes on the ground. You don't have to keep using all your effort to lift that leg. It's more that we're trying to flex the spine here. Keep breathing. Spine to ceiling. And then again, knee to ground.
And we'll do some really nice wrist flexors. Okay. And you can, after that, if you like, rest in child pose, but we're moving on to a spinal balance from that table pose. So do protect your wrists though. You know, you can always roll your mat and give a wedge with your mat and your fingertips on your floor. That helps. Okay. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, it's really good to have some kind of knee padding, just to be really kind to your knees. So the next one, again, positioning in table, and it's beginning to get a little bit tricky. It's the opposite arm and leg, and then same arm and leg. So breathing in, right arm comes forward, left leg goes up. Okay. Breathe out and down. Breathe in, left arm goes up. Right leg goes up. Breathe out. Let's do that again. In, right arm, left leg, out, and the other side, and down. And then I think you know what's coming next, we stay there. So alternate arm, leg, keeping the pelvis level, breathe out and down. There's another thing, and the others. Left arm, right leg. Breathe out and down, sit back. So that will strengthen all of the back muscles and it lengthens the spine and it helps improve your balance and coordination, okay? When you're doing that, try and keep your head and neck aligned and you can look up or you can look straight at the mat. And then let's see if we can do same side. We may not be able to do it, okay? So let's try. Lean onto your right, left leg goes up, left arm goes up. Tricky, huh? And then right leg goes up, lean onto the left. Right arm sort of goes up, looking down, opening out the back of the neck. Okay, you'll be tilting slightly, but that's all right. And down, and the other side. That's more or less for fun, but also for balance. Okay, breathe out and down. Rotate the wrists again a bit more. And it's good for the wrists. It might feel slightly ouchy, but it's really good for the wrists. Now, the next one is Ardha Mukha Svanasana, which is the downward facing dog. It's quite vigorous. So it's often used as a transitional pose. I like it because it opens out the backs of the legs and the hamstrings, but that's the reason why some people don't like it. I've still got a hiking injury on my Achilles, right Achilles, so my right foot won't necessarily be doing what I'm saying to you because I'm protecting it. Downward facing dog also improves focus, willpower, stimulates the mind, gets it going if it's foggy, reduces stress and relieves lower back pain. Okay, so let's go into it. Up we go, slightly wider table this time. Just feeling, let's feel into the pose, let's tuck our toes under, okay? And then going back and pushing back and just see, does that feel comfortable? Are your arms and your legs in the right place? Do you want to slightly wiggle, jiggle your feet further away? Okay, and then opening out the shoulder blades and the shoulders. And then let's just do this stepping movement, okay? Can you see what I'm doing? It's almost like the wriggle jiggle a cat makes when it's about to pounce on a mouse. And that really, really opens out the backs of the legs, especially if you're bringing your knee down to the floor and then pushing the heel on the opposite leg down to the floor. Okay, and then eventually we just push the tailbone upwards to the heavens and fill out the shoulder blades, lengthen through the arms, trying to get, see the ball of your foot, the heel of your hand probably has a lot of weight to it.
So try to make it all the fingers as well and all of the palm. Pushing back, and slowly, slowly moving those heels closer to the ground. Of course, I'm protecting my right foot, but both going closer to the ground if you can. And remember, it's not competitive, thank goodness. It's about the best yogi is the one listening to their body and doing what their body needs, and not struggling, straining, or overachieving. Being kind to the body. And with this one also, you can put the heel of the hand onto a block and have the fingers over the edge of the block if you're finding that the wrist is finding it too difficult. And then let's go on to our tippy toes. Push. Imagine that you're bringing your forehead to your toes, a very high lift. And then to come down, open out the knees, big toes together, and let's just rest again in that lovely, replenishing, soothing child pose, forehead to floor. Just breathing into that, enjoying it as much as possible. Adding that movement to the downward facing dog really helps to warm up the leg muscles and loosen any tightness. So it's really good if you're going out for a run or you're going to the gym. If it's first thing in the morning and you just need to warm up as much as possible. Okay, so when you've rested down there, using the child as an interim pose, let's pull the arms back and push to come up onto your toes, all right, and coming into the middle of your mat. And we're going to do a simple forward fold. So remember, if you have lower back issues and the discs are bulging to the back because you've been sitting all crouched and it's getting worse down there, these forward folds actually are contraindicated. So you can go to sort of halfway. You can hang on to a chair or sofa at home and just do a long spinal stretch. But until that back starts to strengthen up with the other poses that we're doing, I'd quite like you to protect it. Also with the forward fold, as it hinges on the lower back and the hips, take it gently as you go down and bend the knees, okay? So that you're folding gently forward, nothing too severe, just folding gently forward. Now this relieves headaches and insomnia, and you let the weight of the head come down to the floor, okay? It stimulates the liver, the kidneys, the digestive system. It can stretch as you slightly straighten your legs, the hamstrings and the calves, strengthen the feet, knees and thighs, okay? And traditionally, it's done with the hands going down towards the floor. If you can't reach the floor, no worries, don't worry about it at all. Just wherever your hands land on your legs is good. And you can even hold on to the elbows. And that helps use the weight of the arms to really bring the back open and down. And why are we doing this? Well, we're opening the discs, and the discs love to absorb the fluid around them to rejuvenate them. In yoga, we're often compressing them and then opening them. It's a process called imbibition of the spinal discs. And that means that they can actually, the cells can actually squeeze out and then imbibe what they need. And that's how we rejuvenate them. We literally change them and we heal them. As long as we don't do anything out of our ability range, depending on how our back is at the moment. All right, and when we've been in there a while, bend the knees, okay, and just come up. That's it, nice and wide. You might feel a little bit dizzy coming up, especially if you have low blood pressure. So just pause there, standing in the Mountain Tadasana. Let's be, imagine a mountain you really love. Let's be that mountain for a moment. The feet going deep into the ground. Shoulders down, shoulder blades slightly coming together and down towards your tailbone. Chest area here, nice and open. So a nice interim pose. Often use the mountain as an interim pose between standing poses. Okay, and then I'd like to do the gentle straddle stretch. So widening out the feet, but not too wide. And if 12 o'clock was where your nose is facing, your left foot's probably at 10 o'clock, pointing to 10 o'clock, and your right foot's probably pointing at 2 o'clock. That's 2. So, you know,
basically protecting the knees again, because they're not bending that way, they're bending out. Okay. And then I'd like you to breathe in, stretch the arms up, lift the rib cage away from the waist, little wiggle jiggle, and then maybe pull up those kneecaps and engage the thighs, hinge from the hips, breathing out, coming down. Okay, this is good for the waist and the thighs and lower back. And as you come down, I'd like you to take your left hand to your right ankle or foot, or shin or knee, depending on how far down you feel comfortable going, and your right hand goes up to the heavens and you look up. And then breathing out, come down and swap. Right hand to left ankle, left arm goes up, look up. Breathe out and swap. So let's just do that a few times. Breathe in, up. Breathe out, swapping over, up. Okay. And keep feeling, how's my back doing? How are my legs staying? Am I okay? Do I need to do it higher up, just going over to my knees? What would be best for me? Most injuries occur from people overachieving, over pushing in yoga. And then down, just both hands to both feet for a moment, pausing, breathing. And of course, in your own time, you could stay up in a pose, left hand on the foot, right hand above the heavens. You could stay there comfortably, minimum 30 seconds, maximum a minute, depending on how much time you've got, and then do the same amount of time on the other side. So tuck the chin in for a moment, see if you can do the base lock and the abdominal lock. We're going to Mahabandha, the great lock. But keep breathing, keep breathing. Okay. And then I'd like you to come out of this. I'd like you to heel toe, your feet to hip joint width apart. And then bend the knees more deeply. Drop the head, so you're in a sort of squat forward fold. This is good for lifting the mood, helps to alleviate depression in these forward bends. They're very good at soothing and lifting mood. Okay, and then slowly, using your thigh muscles, you can put your hands on your thighs or your knees, slowly coming up, protecting the back. Lovely, and then arms up, yes. And breathing out, palms downwards as we come down. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed that. That's a short session this morning. Very invigorating, and you can use it independently as a yoga practice. Enjoy.